So I'm here at Stormy's place, and I have the mini chainsaw again. The whole reason for the chainsaw is to tear apart these pallets right here, and I'll show you those right now. And those actually, of course, are tied on loosely to the step. And yeah, so I'm gonna get at that now in just a moment once I get my gloves on, because unlike some people, I don't take safety gear usage to make me seem like a weak person. And given the quality of the item I'm using, well, you know, let's just examine that for a second. Does that look like something you'd really want to trust barehanded, or without at the least eye pro? Yeah. Anyway, assuming there's not a lot of wind noise, I will talk to chat once in a while when I get a few moments. But first things first, I got to get this cut off, and then I will take a few moments and have a chat with chat. Okay. And of course, I put the gloves on a little bit too fast, because this is finer line than I expected. Is that you up there, Zeus? Okay, so apparently the wind can knock my tablet over. Let's see, who we got here? That looked like Maureen. Just a moment. Don't start this when TLE podcast is still on. Make your choice. Watch this or watch the Lotus Eaters. I don't care. You can watch me later. And Stormy is coming out to have a gabble at me. Maureen, first person in chat, told me to stop doing this while Lotus Eaters was on.
Give it to him, Maureen. Maureen. Oh my God.
Maureen. Go watch the goddamn Lotus Eaters, Maureen. Keep an eye on the tablet for me. If it starts to tip towards me, let me know.
Yep.
The wind just blew it over a minute ago. And you bring smokes with you?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you're a good woman.
Baby.
Yes, baby.
Rock like that.
There we go. I don't think that's going to blow over now. There you go.
Enjoy your smoke while you're playing with your ding-ding.
I've just been told to enjoy my smoke while I'm playing with my ding-ding. Let's see if anybody else is in chat here. I can't respond text-wise, so I'll just say to Maureen, I do what I want. You do what you want. We'll all be happy. Pocket it. Give it to Katie, tell her to make you a birthday present. The wind's picking up. Okay, so Maureen says as a woman she's never happy, and as a Dutch person she loves to complain. I once saw this sign on the wall of a computer retailer. Haggling with a Dutchman is like wrestling with a pig in the mud. You're both getting dirty, but only one of you is happy about it. The ironic thing was, it was a Dutchman who owned the shop. Yeah. So how is Maureen today? Since you're a complaining, unhappy woman of Dutch persuasion. Oh dear, I think I have a scratch on my lens. No. Anyway. It actually works out kind of nice. Oh, and thanks for the like, Maureen. I appreciate it. Since Stormy didn't bother to like the stream before she came outside.
My phone went dead.
My phone went dead. That's a likely story.
Seriously, it's dead.
Actually, it's probably true.
Very true.
It's the phone I gave you. It's not going to last very long.
I come in from the bedroom, it was 99%. When I left the table that time, it was down to 4%. So,
That fast?
yeah.
Oh, battery's shot then.
Besides, I want to come in and see how you work this little contraption.
Oh, that's right. You haven't seen me use this thing.
No, I have not.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much good that safety guard is going to be, being that it flaps back and forth like a well-used hooker on payday. Well, there goes my monetization for this one. Okay. Oh, here's Blackout. Hey, Blackout, how you doing? Hell yeah, I'm going to listen while I'm finishing getting ready for work. Awesome. Okay, and he got a good kick out of the hooker comment, I think. So, okay, yeah, that's the lowest possible setting. We're going to use the highest possible setting, which isn't much better. For what I paid for it, it's doing pretty good. I'll do the top three first. Okay, this is definitely a downward friction method. Let's do this. There we go. Try not to be too impressed by my amazing show of strength. And I'm taking myself off camera so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. There we go. Actually, I don't think I need the angle that low because I'm not planning to cut on the ground. There we go. Well, that's okay, she doesn't cut worth shit in the room. I cut a little piece. Come on, you miserable excuse for a machine. Oh my. Well, I seem to have exceeded the design specs for this device. That's going to take a little while. Piece, and that looks to be something a fair bit stronger than simple spruce. Can't smell it because it's not burning it. So on the upside,
I'm just impressed in the fact that it actually works.
I'm shocked that it works this well. Yeah. It thinks it can. It thinks it can. If I fuck is going to do it.
I'm gonna leave you alone.
Okay. Want to bring me out a bottle of water when you get a sec? That little water bottle is on the table.
Yep. No problemo.
So, that was surprisingly good, and oh, excuse me, still burping up morning's coffee. Let me see here. So yeah, just to let you guys know exactly what I'm using here. This is a extremely cheap Amazon buy mini chainsaw attachment that's being used on an extremely cheap home hardware purchased Radley, which I have no idea who actually makes Radley. It's their new discount brand. I'd say it's roughly equivalent to something from, well, in the States, Harbor Freight. Given that it's green, it may very well be a Ryobi brand, but I don't know. Let's see, who else is in? Blackout, that thing's just adorable. It only looks like a little bit better than just using a handsaw. Yeah, it is actually only a little bit better than using a handsaw. The only reason I'm using that is because with the handsaw, because I'd have to, let me just show you what I'm talking about here. With a handsaw, I'd have to be doing this, and the wood on the back, rather, makes it extremely awkward to cut with a handsaw. I probably could have done this with a circular saw, but I don't have a cordless version. I probably could have done it with a jigsaw. Again, same problem. No cordless version. Same thing, I could have used a reciprocating saw. Probably could have used an oscillating tool, any number of other things. Hell, I could probably do that with a Dremel with enough time. Just a moment. What's wrong, Zeus? Morning. I could have done that, as I said, with a Dremel if I had enough time. But, you know, honestly, I'm pretty pleased with that because that's a reasonably low-cost solution to the problem. Oh, let them stay out. They're not going to bother me. Wing it. And wing it hard.
Wing it?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Good cat.
I asked for a bottle of water.
You said the little bottle of water in the deep.
I asked you to fill up. I want you to fill up this bottle. Hang on. You stay there. I just didn't want to hit you. Shut up, don't call me cute. I'm manly and amazing. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. It was very nice and stormy to... Huh?
Lavender water?
No, just fill it up with cold water.
Okay.
Anyway, let's see who's in. Yeah, like I was saying, it is really only a little bit better than a handsaw. The problem with the handsaw was the awkward position of it because I'm cutting a pallet off. Now, if I'd been willing to do a little more damage to the boards, which this is kind of the reason I'm doing this, I'm salvaging boards for reuse, especially now that I have a planer. I just received a planer in the mail yesterday while I was at Stormy's, so that's at my place. So there's a good chance that you may get another one of these live streams later today of me, at the very least, cleaning out my shed because the weather is quite nice, so I can work indoor, outdoor. And I'll be harvesting the rest of this. I may very well tear the rest of this apart with a bar and a hammer. But given the good... Actually, I very well might, because these boards are only attached very lightly on this one pallet here. This other pallet, the more classical style pallet, has... that's meant for a lot more heavy use. There's metal caps on the ends of the boards, on the end grain, to keep them from splitting. It's still significantly more beat up than I'd like, but once the blue paint is stripped off of that, I mean, that's a perfectly usable board to make shapes, toys, any number of things. Oh, hang on. What was that? Blackout says, I've used pallet wood in the past. It's not the worst. No, it's really not. It's just a question of finding a good use for it. I mean, I wouldn't build furniture out of pallet wood, for instance, but toys. If you remember the sign that's above my bench in the shed, or above my miter saw rather in the shed. Generally, it's behind me in the videos lately. The sign says accorded neutral territory or accorded neutral ground. That's from the Dresden Files. Made a camping table, like one of these little folding ones you just put kind of in front of you. That sounds good. I could see that. Yeah. And when I talk about making furniture, I'm talking about heirloom furniture, because that's kind of my focus, is making heirloom quality stuff. That's what I trained to do. Now. Okay. Let's do a little more work here. I don't believe Stormy's back with the water just yet, so. Oh, there you are, right. You're on camera. Thanks, love. That was Stormy. Best cheerleader I've ever seen. Okay. This cut is a little... Oh, somebody's chatting. Can I get... No, I can't get chat that way. Just give me a second to finish this cut, and I'll check on chat. One of the problems I'm having here is I'm cutting in a little close to this... Oh, hang on. I'm cutting a little close to this block here, so it's binding a little bit, but it's still cutting pretty well, so I'm just going to try and guide the cut away from it. I do have to say, though, it is actually performing a lot better than I expected. I can see there's at least one new person in chat, because I saw someone say hello, everyone. Let's see what we've got here. There's this big 6 foot, oh, like a picnic table. Covered it in magic cards, 2 foot folding sections with PVC. Oh, cool. Stormy says, morning, everyone. Blackout says, morning, Stormy. And it says, love those pics of me and Ardent, or her and Ardent. Excellent. Thank you very much for that. Anyway, I'll get this board, and this board cut off now before I come back to chat. So you guys have some time to talk to each other. I suspect I'm having some disappointing battery life issues at this point. Let me see. Yes, battery's almost dead already. So now, to be fair, it wasn't fully charged when I started, so we'll see how much longer this lasts. I'm going to be shocked if I... Okay, battery is dead. Okay. Yeah, battery is reading red. Which means it's probably underpowered enough, or so underpowered that it can't manage to really do any pushing. That one's very close to full. I can actually see that, which is amazing at that angle in this light. There we are. Give it another little tighten. Now, this is with a brand new battery. So let's see what we've got here. Significantly more cutting power, so that's good. I might actually get through these 3 boards before this battery dies. I'm actually curious as to whether or not I could do chainsaw carving with this thing now. And since I have a piece of board I can't use right here, I'm going to give that a shot. I should draw something like a square. I'm going to have to put a bit of weight on this to keep it steady. Come on. Now, that wasn't a battery issue, that was a binding issue. I have to admit to being somewhat impressed with this thing. Come on. There we are. Okay, swing you over. Now, as I was saying earlier, I would probably have better luck with a circular saw. What I will probably do is use a circular saw to take off the top boards of this pallet, because this is just brutal. I'm going to take the bottom boards off of this one as well, because they're both pretty damaged. And yeah, normally I could just smash them off, but I'm going to try to save every piece of wood that I can for this. So and I think I bent the bar. Let's see here. Have I actually bent that bar? I think I've bent it a little out of true, yeah. Not much of a shock. You can see there that the bar is really just a white metal. Britannic or pot metal it's also called. Not exactly the greatest stuff in the world. This is getting a little hard on my hands. I'm going to switch grips. Which is one of the few things I'm glad about with this thing. That I can actually do that. Actually, given the direction of the blade travel, I think I'll do it this way. I don't think you guys can actually see what I'm doing right now. Okay, let me just get a little more of an angle. There we go. And I see Gold Banker's in. Hello, Gold Banker. Don't know that I've seen you here before. Nice to see you. Oh, that's right, I was switching hands. Let's see, where is that? That's... Yes, I'm aware that I'm cutting in the wrong direction. I'm just getting clear of this block which is twisted. Okay, that's a very bad sign. As I said, this isn't exactly an expensive piece. There we are. Back it up a little bit more. Now, that was just to get that tightened up. Let's see how this works out. This is going to be the last cut I make, I think, for this video. There we are. I had to say I'm not particularly keen on this thing, given that it keeps falling out of the holder. Though that may be an artifact of the way I have it set up now. It is on the highest setting, though. It is burning out rather quickly. So, from a practical standpoint, it's not exactly the... from a practical standpoint, it's not exactly the best device in the world. I hope you guys can see me okay. I know the sun is probably making a bit of trouble. Okay. Remember, kids, stay hydrated. Let's see, what do we got going on here? We got a couple more people in. Let's see here. A little blackout talking about pallet wood. Stormy said morning. Let's see, Maureen asked if I was dead yet. Not yet. I guess TLE must be over. Let's see. Says she didn't figure I was dead. There was no screaming or blood. Bleach says that poor pellet. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Little Ashley needs to be fed, though. Oh, terrible. Stormy says she knows, but that little saw looks like it was built for her. The total cost of that setup, drill included, was probably under 150 bucks. And that's mostly because I had some reward points at Home Hardware when I picked up the drill. Let's see. Save the slats. $1. Come with everything. I think you paid like 30 or 40 Canadian for it. I think I paid about 15, 16 for the saw attachment, actually. And considering it's actually working not too badly, it's not bad. Callum says he's late. No, Callum, these are random. Nobody's ever late to these, regardless of what Maureen says. Blackout had to go. Aloha, my friend. And yes, thanks for popping in. Have fun peeing. Callum says bigger saw next time. No, the reason I'm not using a big saw is because it's a tight space that I'm working in. So I need to be, let me see if I can show you guys what I'm talking about again. Because I couldn't really use a hand saw because it was such an awkward position. I didn't want to break up these boards. These boards I'm going to try to save as much of as I can. So I'm probably going to end up, okay, let me, for those of you who aren't aware, with a pallet, you have a foot and a top. this is the part that sits on the ground. It gets dragged around, beaten up on warehouse floors, ground, dirt, excuse me, pavement, whatever. This is generally going to be your less quality, or your less, how to put it, your less stable wood, because it's been beaten on so hard. Whereas this can sometimes be really good quality. Like this board, for example, even though there's a knot hole in the very middle of it, it's significantly more, I would say, resilient or less damaged than the one below it. Same thing with these, where these are feet, and depending on the make of the pallet, you get a different wear pattern, we'll call it. Now these boards here, just to show you, I don't think you'll see it that way. If I can bring it around. This is a significantly wider board than you would normally find anywhere. And something this wide would actually be really good for making small signs, little crafts, even furniture. Blackout, actually, before he left, mentioned that he had made a camping table with pallets. There's a heavy truck going by. If you guys can't hear me, let me know. And I'll repeat what I'm saying as much as I can remember. And Stormy managed to bash herself on... What'd you hit, the stairs? Or the brace?
Oh, that fucking hurt. Excuse me.
You hit the brace? Oh, don't worry about it. You can swear on my streams. I don't give a fuck. What happened? Did you just whop yourself on the brace or something? Good job. Stormy walked under her own patio and forgot that it was there, and or you know, neglected to maintain positioning knowledge for her head.
It's just different.
Do I need to buy you the hard hat? For working on my sites? Anyway, as I was saying, boards that are this wide are generally really hard to find, and you're not going to find them for a very cheap price. Certainly you're not going to get them for free, like I've got this pallet. And the wood that's on top, even though it is significantly rubbed and scraped, once I run it through a dimensional planer, it'll actually be good for making craft projects. And I do now have a planer to light me one too, please. And I'll come over and get it. Oh, a little further, a little further, a little more that way. Look at that, magic spigot. Thank you, love. The look she gives me when I do things like that. Anyway, guys, yeah, it's really hard to find a decent price for lumber, especially for craft projects. I don't want to have to go to a hardware store and buy structural lumber to try to make craft projects when, if someone is trying to build a house, that actually increases the price of their house, for example. Now, granted, just me, it would be an absolute minimal, infinitesimal amount that it would increase. But this is still the kind of thing that we should pay attention to, I think. Now, let me see. Bigger Sun next time, says Callum Dayton. Again. It is, in fact, not the Boo Radley brand. But it is Radley brand. Callum says, Zoe, shut up. Was she barking? Ah, okay. Bleach says this is Newfoundland ASMR. And it's not Newfoundland. It's Newfound Land. If you're going to put a word break in there, that's where it belongs. Callum says, $150 would get me 500 points worth of 40k tabletop stuff. Okay. What's that translate to in non-Tiaboo? You thought it actually cost more?
Yeah, I did.
No, that thing was microscopically cheap. Don't forget I had to put a zip tie on it to hold it together, too. Let me see. And Callum says that's if he uses a deal and gets lucky. It depends on what army he's buying. Maureen says she posted in the wrong chat. Violence is in. Hi, Violence. How you doing? I'm doing a little bit of wood reclamation today. Claiming back some wood from the factory that built pallets. So I can make crafting material out of it. Violet says she got no notification, and this is cool. Honestly, I've given up on trying to figure out when and how YouTube notifies people about things. It seems to be a case of if you've ever uttered a conservative word in your life, it's a good question as to whether anyone will ever get notified. Violence says they have a bunch of old wood too. Yeah, you know, Pellets are a great source of, if you're doing little crafty things, like I'm planning to make signs from the Dresden Files. I don't know if you know the reference, but in a bar that the main character frequents, there's a sign on the wall as you enter the door that says accorded neutral territory or accorded neutral ground, depending on which book you're reading. And I know my friend Trim wants one of those signs, and I'd like to have one as well. So I think that'll probably be one of the first projects this wood gets used for, because let me see, this piece here, even though it's kind of beat up and messed up, I can make a sign. Let's see here, from about here to about here is all I really need for that sign. So while it may take a significantly larger amount of front-end processing than it would if I went and bought the material at, say, a Michael's craft store or a home hardware lumber place, I'm still saving. In essence, I'm spending in labor what I would pay in cash, and I have the labor to spare. I don't have the cash. Let's see. Callum says, anyone who wants to listen to some orc audio drama stuff, he found some good stuff on YouTube, and he's going to post it in Sultans Discord later. Cool, thank you. And Violence says, yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah. So yeah, guys, you may get another live stream later today, and all that one's likely to be is just me cleaning out my shed so I can get to work in the shop. Yeah, making signs and various other things, like just little kitschy things like family name signs and things like that. I have a Dremel that I can use as a router, so for a small piece of craft work like that, it'll work fine. Sorry, Stormy just undid her jacket and I got distracted. Hi, baby. Boobs. And Violence says Dremels are fun. Yeah, Dremels are loads of fun. I've made all kinds of little nicky-nacky things with Dremels already. The keychains that I had for sale for a while. Callum Dayton says bras. Bras. Okay. Who wears bras? I don't. Stormy says neither does she. She does, actually, on occasion, when she's trying to be somewhat classy.
How dare you?
Well, when you're trying. I didn't say you succeeded. I love you, honey.
Love you too.
Violence says she dares me to trim my fingernails with a Dremel. You send me $500 just in case I nick out the top of one of my fingers, and I'd consider it. Oh, Violence says she did it once. It's intense. I bet. Actually, I have one of those little handheld rechargeable ones, which if I put a sanding drum on it, I could probably get away with it, but I tend to keep my nails pretty short because I do woodworking. I'd have to let them grow significantly. Yeah, actually, I won't even say that on YouTube because you never know who's listening and who might actually take it to heart. Yeah, I imagine it was kind of an intense experience, Violence. What time is it, love? See if I can get it on my... Oh, I got it on the tablet. It's 20 after 11. So I'm going to finish up what I'm doing. We'll get something to eat and then we'll go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, folks, that's going to be it for this one. I've got to put this pallet away out of the weather a little bit and get the other one prepped and ready to go. I'm going to try doing another couple of cuts because I still have some battery power. But for now, this is the end of the live stream. So I will see you guys when I see you again. I hope you're all doing well. And of course, rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye. And good evening, Violence.